Flosstube. It's Jen from Jen's Stitching Niche. I'm here with Sally, the Boston Terrier, that insists on sitting in my lap right now. There is a window right over there, and that's why she's looking out the window. There is a bobwhite quail that's calling to his partner. And it's very distracting to her. It's kind of distracting to me too, but it's exciting. We haven't had bobwhites for a long time. I can remember them when I was younger, and then of course there's a lot of trees that were cut down and pasture land made, and now we're starting to restore some of the forest around here, and so the bobwhites are coming back. My husband and I, our plan is to take what used to be a pasture, now that we're not going to have cattle, and turn that back into a kind of prairie and longleaf pine forest area, which was what it was before. So we're excited about that. But you can you hear that out there, Sally? No kisses. We don't do kisses in the face. I don't do kisses in the face. She does kisses in the face. I woke up one night and realized that you get kissed in the face whether you want to or not, because she was kissing me in the face and whatever. Okay, that's my Sally. She's a very spoiled little puppy. Stitching, that's what we're supposed to be here for. So I've got quite a bit of stitching to share. It's June 7th in the evening. I'm going to share with you some haul that I have. I got some progress, some finishes, my Mania progress, some purchases, and then just kind of what I've been up to. So I had a lot of things going on in May. We had the end of the semester. I had a conference in Columbus, Ohio. I've done a lot of buying for the shop, which helps because that prevents me from buying for Jennifer. But it's been a really good May, and June's kind of shaping up to be great as well. The semester has begun. Summer semester has begun, but I'm not teaching. I am coordinating a lab, and I'm doing professional development, but that's easy. I have great graduate students that are teaching the lab, so I don't have to do too much with them. I meet them once a week, and then I meet once a week with the faculty that are doing the professional development module. So otherwise, I get to stay home and craft and work on textbook stuff. So later in the month, I'm going to New Orleans with my husband to celebrate his birthday. And then I'm going to Nashville for one of Katrina Boyd's retreats, which I'm excited about. So I've got a couple of things coming up in June. Got some ideas for the shop, which I hope to share soon with you. We're waiting to see about a couple of things, but some exciting things happening there. And then I've been stitching, I've been crafting, and I'm going to do a lot of crafting. So my plan today is to kind of update you on some of my projects. Also, I have a giveaway. Actually, I'm going to do two giveaways. One is because of a very sweet gift that I got in the mail from Cindy, from Cindy's Cross Stitch. And the other one is to celebrate my 1-year Flosstube anniversary. So that was in June, or that's in June. And I'll talk about those giveaways in just a few minutes. Sally, you ready to get down? Can you get down so I can use my hands? No kisses in the face. No kisses in the face. Sally, come on. Sally. Thank you. All right, good girl. Hold on. Now she wants out. Do you want to go outside? I guess I'll talk about the very sweet gift that I got. So Cindy from Cindy's Cross Stitch, which many of us know, she's a very sweet, generous soul that is very talented. She sent me a package, and I got it on a very great day. This past year has been a really rough year professionally. I shouldn't say it that way. I got a promotion. I'm excited about that, but just dealing with some of the people that I work with has been a chore. Mainly because we're going through a reorganization at our university, and that's always tough, especially with academics. We're very much pattern people, and if you start changing our patterns, we get a little grumpy. Some of us get grumpier than others. And that makes it very hard to work with those people. I'm pretty easy to get along with. I'm a team player. Well, we haven't had a lot of that going on this semester. So when I got this package from Cindy, I had just gotten through a very frustrating interaction with one of my colleagues. And this just made my day. It literally made me cry because it made me realize that there are sweet people in the world that care about me, and that made a big difference. So Cindy, thank you so very much. It was very timely, very important to me, and I appreciate it so very much. She sent me a little card with bunnies on it. I love bunnies and I love cats. I collect bunnies and I collect cats. I love dogs too, but I like cats better. But this card, and I read it and it made me cry and it made me happy and smile. Thank you, Cindy. And she included in that, she was, one of her friends passed away, and in her friend's stash she found a couple of projects that made her think of me. One is this Prim Sisters needle book from Primitive Betty's, and I love that. Like I said, I love bunnies, and it's a complete set. So I'm going to work on that this summer, and I appreciate that, Cindy. Thank you. She also sent me Stacy Nash Primitives Christmas at Hollyberry Farm, and I love this. This is a beautiful piece, and I finished this. Teresa and I both have finished this. So I'm going to pass the stash. I'm going to, this is one of the 2 things that I will be giving away on this video. So if you're interested in this, just say that I would like to visit Hollyberry Farm. Obviously, you need to be over 18. And don't say anything about a giveaway. But this is beautiful. And not only is it the chart, but it comes with the fabric. Now, the lady had started it, but that's okay. It will be meaningful for someone to complete that. So, I would like to visit Hollyberry Farm. So, those were 2 things. She also sent the Sampler and Antique Needlework magazine. This is spring 2012, and I've already picked out a couple of things in here that I want to stitch. And she also included egg cartons, which is so sweet because I have chickens, right? I've talked about those on my last video, and Teresa loves my chickens. They've been on her videos more than my videos. But my chickens are doing great. They're getting ready to move to their bigger place. We have 16 chickens. We have Buff Orpingtons. We have Lakenvelders. We have some Egyptian ones I can't pronounce. And we have Black Star and Black Cochins. They're very sweet sometimes. They're very sassy. They're getting very big. So I'll put a video at the end of the chickens so you can see. I take some of them out. Not all of them, because 16 are going to be hard to manage with a Boston Terrier that wants to bite them. So I take a few out every day and let them walk around in the yard. Sally, she's such a good puppy because she wants to bite them so badly. And we tell her you can't bite them. And so she lays on the ground and watches them. But she really wants to bite them. So that's the chicken update. Farm's going great. The bees are crazy. You can walk by some of the beehives and smell the honey. They are so productive. And that's because my husband's been planting flowers everywhere. He planted zinnias. He plowed up 2 big patches in our yard and planted zinnias, and they're blooming and it's gorgeous. So I'll put some pictures of that in, of his zinnia beds. They're so pretty. I could go out there and cut a few every now and then. He's like, those aren't for you, those are for the bees. And I'm like, sorry, I have to cut some of them. But they're very, very pretty. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen a couple of pictures of those flowers. The bees are doing great. We've got corn. Probably we'll start harvesting corn soon, and green beans even sooner than that. We've got to replant some of our garden though, because we're learning. My dad was an amazing farmer. My mom's an amazing farmer, and we didn't learn as much as we thought we had learned. So we're working on that. I have a lot to share. I have some finishes, some FOs, FFOs, some progress, some purchases. I got a lot to share. I'm going to start with many of you know Teresa from Kitten Stitcher, obviously. I talk about her all the time. She is my bestie. And this summer, we're going to spend a lot of time together. We've already gone out once this week, and we're going out tomorrow. So we call each other every day. She's an amazing person, very creative. And she just launched her website. So it's kittenstitcher.com. You can purchase items of hers there. And one of the things that she has her charts. You know, I have my charts, I have her charts in my shop too, but you can get them directly from her as well. And she's going to have certain exclusive things that only she carries. And the first one is the S. Ward, a little rag sampler that she's talked about. And I got one of the kits. So this is her newest release. You have to go to her shop, her online store, kittenstitcher.com, to get this. But what you get is you get the chart, and you get the fabric, and this is that pashmina, is it pashmina thread that is absolutely gorgeous from Gloriana. And you get candy, and you get a handmade paper mache strawberry from her. Isn't that amazing? She is so creative. So cool. So love that. Thank you. Thank you. So pretty. So that's one thing I wanted to share with you. And I'm going to get into the cross stitching in just a second. A lot of people have been talking about punch needle, and I love punch needle because it looks like little tiny rugs. And I've done punch needle things. I don't know if you can, I don't think I have anything here, but I have some that are framed. I've had some made into little cubes. And a few years ago, I purchased several kits from Threads That Bind. I've shown you this before. This is my little pumpkin guy. This is the same designer, Shawn Williams, Threads That Bind. If you Google her, you can see a bunch of her primitive designs, including a lot of her punch needles, which she's amazing with her punch needle. Well, I purchased several of them. I just didn't know what to do with them. I wanted to finish them like the little mats that she showed, but I didn't know how to do it until I watched Kathleen at Kathleen's Trodden Trails and saw how she finished her hooked rugs. I'm like, that's what I need to do. I'll do exactly the same thing to finish my little rug, my little punch needle. So this is one that I did years ago, and these are supposed to be ducks. And my sister tells me they look like a platypus. I'm like, yeah, they do look like a platypus. But anyway, that's so cute. And this is the backing. And I just finished it the same way you would do a hooked rug. So I just take the finished piece and I did interfacing on the back of that. And then I bought this kind of woven fabric I think I got this at Hancock Fabrics when they were still open. So I've had all this together, all of the materials not finished, for like 4 years. So thank you, Kathleen, for sharing that, because now I know what to do. And then I took this and I went ahead and did interfacing on the back of this fabric because it is very loose, very loose weave. And then I just sandwiched them together and then took pearl cotton and just whip stitched around to attach them. And I've got another one that I'm working on. So same thing, same fabric, and I'm just whip stitching them together. I messed up there, but that's okay. It's not perfect. I'm trying to turn it this way. There you go. And just whip stitch them together. And then they'll just be little mats sitting on my tables downstairs. So cute. So that's one of my not cross stitch crafts that I'm working on. I guess I'll show you my Stitch Mania stuff. It's a little crazy. No, I want one more thing I want to show before I get into my cross stitching. So I opened my Etsy store. It's been 2 years, I think. Yeah, 2 years. And one of the main reasons I wanted to do that is because I like to pack things up and mail them. When Teresa had her shop, I would go in once a week and help her pack. And I just loved looking at everything and putting them in nice little packages and mailing them. And so that's one of the things that I enjoy about having my own shop. The other thing that I enjoy is just seeing everything. Because I can't buy everything and I can't stitch everything, even though I think I can. And I act like I can. But it's just interesting to see what people purchase. I guess I'm nosy, but I just want to see what other people like. And I'm constantly going, ooh, I like that. Oh, that's a good combination. Oh, I wish I would stitch that one. And I realize I can't do them all, but then there are some that when I pull the threads for them, or I pick the, cut the fabric for them, I'm like, I have got to do this. And Giselle, one of my customers, I got permission to use her name, ordered a pattern and asked me to pull the threads for her. And when I was pulling the threads, I just kept going, these are beautiful. I've got to stitch this. And I've seen the pattern and I've seen, the finished product at market. But when I pulled these threads, I'm like convinced I am stitching this. It is The Winter Is Past by Blackbird Designs. I love the blues and greens and browns, but I didn't know how much I'd love them until I pulled these Weeks Dye Works threads and looked at them. Look at these colors. These remind me, I sit on my patio in the evenings and look out into the wooded area behind our house, and these are the colors on stormy nights or stormy afternoons with those grays and greens and browns and blues. And I love, love this combination. So thank you, Giselle, for ordering this and getting me to pay attention, because this is going to be a start for me in July. It is gorgeous. Now, I don't have oaken, which is what this is stitched on, but I have something similar to it, and I'm just going to stitch it on something that I have. That is beautiful. So I'm enabled by my customers. Okay, so Stitch Mania was manic. I became a little overwhelmed. I think I've reached my breaking point. I didn't do 31 days. I was going to do 31 days. I only did 29 days. Of those 29 days, 9 were old whips that I had started at previous Manias. The last 2 days I just couldn't stitch because I went on this trip for that conference that I talked about in a previous video. I drove to Columbus, Ohio, and I'll talk about that more in just a minute. And when I got back, I had so many orders. So thank you to all my customers who were patient and understanding that I couldn't mail their orders immediately. I usually mail orders within the 24 hours, usually shorter, because I like to pack things up. So as soon as I can, I get to put them together. But usually it's in the mail within 24 hours of your ordering it. But I was out of town, and people were very nice about it. But as soon as I got home on about 7 o'clock on Wednesday, and I stayed up until midnight packing orders that night. So I didn't get a chance to stitch. And then the next day, which was the 31st of May, I didn't stitch because I had procrastinated about posting things for the lab. I'm coordinating the labs this summer. And so I had to work. And so I didn't get a chance to stitch. So that was my fault because I was procrastinating. But anyway, so I did 29 days. 20 new starts, 9 old whips. I finished 4 of the starts in May. And since the end of May, in these first 7 days of June, I've finished 2 other ones. So today's June 7th. I don't know if I've said that because I've recorded this video twice already. But I've had 2 other finishes, both of them Mania projects, in the first week of June. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to go through. I have everything piled up here, and I'm just going to show you my Stitch Mania. I'm going to show you the finishes because the other things, I haven't made a lot of progress, so it's kind of embarrassing to show you. So one of the starts that I had in Stitch Mania was Oh Say Can You See by Hands On Design. I saw these at market and I love, love, love this series. Each chart comes with a chart that you can either stitch the little pin cushion like this, or you can stitch the little pillow. It also comes with enough of this velveteen fabric to either finish this or this, but not both. I chose to do the little drum because I think that's adorable. But I didn't like the cream color fabric that she used because I wanted it to look like water. So I decided to use Vintage Stormy Night, which I got from Witchelt. It's a 28 or 32 count Lugana. I do have that in my shop. I ordered a bunch of it because people contacted me about it. And I started this on the 14th of May and I finished it on the 5th of June. So that's the finish. You have to do the back stitch all the way around it because you're going to fold this over at that line and whip stitch it. But it is so cute. I love that. And I used pretty much the called for threads. I can't wait to get this done. That's one of the things I'm going to do this weekend is to finish that. Now, I was so excited about that I decided that I was going to make my own project bag. So I made this project bag for Oh Say Can You See. I love this fabric. And then I went a little crazy and I bought enough to make lots of these project bags. So I'm going to finish these project bags over the next week and post them in my Etsy store. So I'm working on my stitching. I've got to do a little better on my corners. They're not horrible, but I want them to be as close to perfect as possible. But that's going to be available. Now, the other giveaway that I'm doing to celebrate my Flosstube anniversary is I'm going to do a giveaway for the project bag with the chart that comes with the velveteen, a fat 1/8 of the fabric that I used, and the pin set. So you'll get the chart, the linen, the Lugana, the pin set, and this project bag. If you want to enter that giveaway, just say I love to go to the beach, and I will draw for that on, let's see, today is the 7th. I will close out that drawing on the 17th, so 10 days. And I'll do the same for the other one, the other drawing that I mentioned for the Christmas one, Hollyberry Farms. Okay? You have to be 18. Don't say anything about giveaway. But that's going to be my second giveaway, which is going to be really cute. Okay? Another finish that I had was a Bees Gathering by the Threadwork Primitives. And I love this. Isn't that beautiful? There's 3 different colors in this. And it's so small, but the detail is amazing. That bee skep in the middle is beautiful. So I mentioned that I picked this up at a shop and that I couldn't get it from my distributor. They didn't have it. And so I'm like, maybe you can find it somewhere. And some of you were able to find it at other shops. Well, Nan, the designer, saw my video and she sent me a message and said, hey, you can purchase those from me if you want to sell them in your shop. So I do have them in my shop. And thank you, Nan. It was very sweet of you to contact me. I'm still learning. I'm learning about things. But this is beautiful. And, if you look at different things in my shops, you can kind of tell who I enjoy stitching their projects the most. So Nan is one of them that I have lots of her projects. I have lots of Brenda Gervais, Stacy Nash, Highberry Lane, Plum Street. But I think this is a beautiful, beautiful pattern. So if you're interested, I've got it in my shop. It's a Bees Gathering. I'm going to finish that, FFO that, also this weekend. Another finish that I had was Jeanette Douglas. This is Freebies. It was a pretty easy. So if you want, it's strategy. When you do your Stitch Mania and you're planning, if you want to have finishes, you got to pick small things. So I picked that one. And I started that and finished that during Stitch Mania. I also started and finished this during Stitch Mania. This is Farm Fob from Lizzie Kate. It comes with the fabric, it comes with the rickrack, and it comes with the beads. I don't know if they're available anymore, but I purchased that at one of Katrina's retreats, and it's two-sided. So I finished it based on the instructions, and I think that's super cute. And then my last finish for Stitch Mania was Harvest Bird. So he's kind of there, a little better. I found this frame at a thrift store for $1, and I think he looks cute in there. So this is You and I and Friends. Started it in Mania and finished it in Mania. So I have two FFOs, these two, for Stitch Mania 2018. And I have two FOs, these two, that will be finished this weekend. And then since Mania ended, this was a Mania start and finish. And my other Mania project that I finished is this big one. This is Cherry Hill Farm Sampler from Stacy Nash Primitive. I finished this on probably June 2nd. And at the beginning of Mania, you know, this is an old one. I started this actually Mania 2016, but I only had half of the chart done and maybe this top border. And I got the rest of it done. And I love this. This was a limited release from Stacy Nash and Nordencraft. It was a little kit. It was really cutely packaged. It was a little zip pouch that had the linen, all the Weeks Dye Works, a little needle, and the chart. Nordencrafts is closed, and they clearanced out all of that. I did sell a lot of these in my shop, but I don't have any more. But I did when I was at Cross Stitch Peddler in Decatur. Here, I'll show you. Cross Stitch Peddler, isn't that cute? In Decatur, Alabama, she did have one of these. So if you're interested, she did still have one of those kits available. So those are my finishes from Stitch Mania. I stitched on, like I said, 29 different projects. And Teresa and I decided what we were going to do is we were going to stitch on every one every day. So as we added a new project, we still had to go back and stitch on the other ones. And I did. And again, I haven't made a lot of progress in very many of them. And I didn't get to stitch on all of them. But that kind of broke me. That was a lot. Teresa, what were we thinking? It's going to take me a full year to recover. It's going to be like childbirth, though. Next April, I'm going to be like, I'm going to do 31 stars, and I'm going to stitch on all of them. You forget the frustration. But June, I'm going to focus on fewer projects. I always joke that, you know, in May Day, that's when people are crazy and all kinds of things happen. And then in June, people end up getting married. So monogamous June is what my theme's going to be. I'm going to pick a project and I'm going to work on that project until I'm finished. That's what got me through this one, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. So I'm going to go, after I finish this video, I'm going to go through my 100 whips that I have under this desk, and I'm going to pick out some that are close to being finished, and I'm going to work on those. So that's something that I need to focus on. I did, when I went on my trip, I went to Columbus, Ohio to a conference, and I stopped at Patches and Stitches in Huntsville, Alabama. I stopped at Reflections. Reflections is Jennifer. I would love to go to Reflections. I went to Patches and Stitches in Huntsville, Alabama, Cross Stitch Peddler in Decatur, Alabama, and then I went to Keepsakes in Cincinnati, Ohio. When I was at Keepsakes, I got to spend a lot of time with Barb, the shop owner. I met 310, the cat, and I met Nicole from Buckeye Stitcher. So it was a really great trip. When I got there, I got to Keepsakes early, right when they opened. And I sent Nicole a message, and she's like, I won't be able to make it because she was at work. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Well, then she sent a message to Barb and said, see if you can keep her until 2. And Barb told me that. I said, I'll hang out. If you don't mind, I'll go and shop and do stuff. And so I hung out and talked to Barb. She fed me lunch. Barb is amazing. She's so smart, too. She's really, really smart lady. So those of you going to StitchCon, you're going to have so much fun. I wish I could go. But then I got to meet Nicole, and I met one of her other customers that was super sweet. Several of her customers. She's had a lot of people come in, and she's really good with her customers, so I learned a lot. Shopped a lot, but I had a really good time. So Barb is a great person, very generous, very sweet. And I picked up quite a bit, so I'm going to show you some of my haul. Let's see. Move this out of the way. One thing that I know why I said reflections. I didn't go to reflections. I didn't go that far out. The reason I said reflections is if you watched Julie's last video, she talked about the retreat project that she did for her last retreat, and it involved this little beauty. I got this at Hobby Lobby. That's glass. And my plan is to, when I finish these barrels from Hands On Design, they're gonna be displayed in here like little cakes. This was $24.99 at Hobby Lobby. It was 50% off when I found it. And I found this in one of the Hobby Lobbies I stopped at along the road somewhere. So that was one of my big purchases. I also saw Big Lots. And I'm like, I'm just going to stop in because, you know, Priscilla got that really cool little door hanger thing. And just maybe, because I've stopped at my Hobby Lobby, Big Lots, and several Big Lots in Mississippi and couldn't find it. But I found what I've been looking for. So, you know, I love Priscilla's stuff, and I'm always like, that's all, can get by without having that because I have so many things. But when she showed this, I'm like, I have to have that because this looks like my dad's old truck. That looks a lot like my dad's old truck. And I'm like, I want that. And my sister loves these flowers. So this is very much reminds me of my childhood. So I was so happy to find this. So that was another purchase. I went to a couple of thrift stores and found some frames and found some other little cute things. And then I was at the shops and I got a lot. So if you go to Keepsakes, she has a really cool way of displaying. And I'm going to put pictures of the shop. I took a couple of pictures of the shop. I'm going to put those in either here or at the end. But she has lots of models on the wall. And then the patterns are very close to that. So you're like, oh, I love that. And there's the patterns. Smart lady. So I got a lot there. So I got some freebies. She even stitches up the freebies and has them laying really close and you can get those freebies. So I got a couple of freebies, but then I purchased quite a bit. So let me pull this out. I got it organized by shop. So what did I get at Keepsakes? I got Lizzie Kate's Red, White, and Blue. It's a kit. I love that. I'm going to stitch that in July. I got Pineberry Lane, who's one of my favorite designers as well. Quaker Egg Pin Keep. Thought that was really cute. It says, S is for spring, E is for Easter, R is for rabbit. A sweet trio of pin keep eggs featuring Quaker style letters and spring motifs, springtime motifs. So very cute. It's a freebie. I got Sampler Stocking from Carriage House. She had this displayed. It was beautiful. I got Work Basket, Quaker Pig, and Quaker Rooster. I love that rooster. And then this is what got me started on these Quaker, restarted, because I've stitched a couple of these. But I love that cardinal. She had that displayed, and then that eagle is beautiful. We do not see eagles in South Mississippi very often, even though they nest on the barrier islands off the coast of Mississippi on what we call Horn Island. But you don't see them unless you go down there, or I've never seen them. Until about 4 or 5 months ago, I was driving down Highway 98, headed home, and I look up and I see what I thought were buzzards, but I'm like, wait a minute. That's a white head and white tail. Those are bald eagles. And I'm like, and pulled off the road and got my camera out and crying because I'm seeing eagles in the wild and calling people and telling them, because I'm a biologist, we get a little emotional about these things. And I've seen them a couple of more times. My older brother, who's as bad as I am about nature and all these animals and wanting to see them in their, in the natural environment, has not seen any in Mississippi, and he's very upset. He gets very jealous when I talk about it. I'm like, well, I'll tell you where to hang out because there's a pair that's in that area. So that long story explains why I have to stitch that eagle. Okay. I picked up Honeybee Hill, which is no longer available through the distributors. And I think it's Farm Girl. Michelle has stitched this bee down here that's adorable. There's a window, like I said, right there. My husband just walked by. And then this one I've never seen this chart. I saw this at Keepsakes on display, and I love this. I'm going to stitch it, and I'm going to hang it over the door in my office. So I teach undergraduates, a lot of freshmen and sophomore. I think that's appropriate. Brenda Gervais, Brambleberry Bunting. Not Forgotten Farm, the Reverend Gordon Squashbottom. I love my Pumpkinhead people. Britter Cup Designs, Harvest Hunt. And then she also has these boxes of old patterns that are free. So I got Harvest Festival, because I want to stitch that right there. The cat, the witch and the cat, that's so cute. And this old magazine, we've all seen, I think it was Lori from Mischievous Stitches, mentioned this before. Wasn't that you, Lori, that you were looking for this? Maybe not, but I love that. So that was my Keepsakes haul. And then I also, on the way up, stopped at Patches and Stitches, and I found this in their half-price box. So it's some of the Little House Needleworks freebie charts. And I love those checkerboards because I love seasonal patterns. They're all four there. And then the spring soap box. I'm going to change. I like the color purple, but I don't like that purple leg. I'm going to change that. And then I stopped at Cross Stitch Peddler. Like I said, I love Marlene. She's one of my favorite shop owners. She's very sweet. She's in Decatur, Alabama. It's a great shop. And I picked up a pattern for Teresa, and then I picked up this one because I love this, and I can't get it from my distributor anymore either. But it's so pretty. I love those birds. So that was I guess that's my haul. I did go to Hobby Lobby, and I did go into their clearance, and I kind of just picked up some crazy stuff. This is weird for me, but I'm going to try this. This is, okay. I just think this is cute. I'm going to stitch one of these. You just sew the sequins on. See? And I mean, look, it was just $4.50. That's going to be cute displayed at Halloween. So I picked up that. I picked up this for one of my friends. She loves peacocks and she loves those colors. And I think she will enjoy that. So that's for my friend Donna. It's going to be funny if I find out she already has this, but it's peacock butterflies. And then the other one I picked up, Primitive Stitcher, excuse me, Suzette. I thought it was funny. She just showed this on her video, and I picked it up too. Now, I'm going to go online and see if I can find any of these other ones. I want this one. I want this one. I want this one, and I definitely want this one. So I like the idea of stitching them on black. And maybe I'll trade this out for black. But those are beautiful. They remind me of that Terrence Nolan and Margarine Bastine, kind of a combination of the two. So I picked this up as well. Okay, that is all of my haul and new stuff. And like I said, my Stitch Mania, I'm not going to show you the progress because it's embarrassing. I'm going to be working on projects, and I'll be showing those as I go through the summer. My plan is to go through these boxes tonight and kind of organize them based on how close I am to finishing. Because I got to get through some of these whips. After Stitch Mania, I gotta do something. So, I do want to just say thank you. And I may have said this earlier, but interacting with Flosstube has been amazing. And especially in the past year, it's been probably my comfort zone and touchstone for sanity. I've made some very good friends. I've met some very sweet people, and I appreciate it. I have never had any negative interaction with people through Flosstube or even with my shop. People have been just super sweet. So I appreciate that. It's a great community, very supportive. And I love to see so much excitement about cross-stitching. It's a beautiful, tedious, time-consuming craft. And it's wonderful to see so many people, especially young people, that have the same excitement for it. So thank you, Flosstube, for allowing me to interact with you guys. It's been great. Now that I have no excuses because I'm not working too much this summer. I'm going to try to do an update every few days. I'm going to participate in Teresa's stitching sleepover tomorrow night. I don't know if she's coming over here or what we're going to do, but we're going to the Lucky Rabbit tomorrow and have some fun. But we will have fun one way or the other. I've got all kinds of project ideas that I want to work on over the next few months. So I'm glad that people are interested and want to share that with me. Again, if you're interested in the giveaway, so the Christmas at Hollyberry Farms, I want to visit Hollyberry Farms. If you're interested in the Hands Across the Sea, Oh Say Can You See project, say you like the beach, I will do the drawings for both of those on the 17th. Don't say giveaway in the comments because your comment will be deleted. Otherwise, thank you for spending a little bit of time with me. I hope that I mentioned everything. I've done this video twice or 3 times, so I may have forgotten to say some things. I'll rewatch it, and if I forgot anything, I'll put it in the next video. I hope you have a good summer. Try to stay cool. We've had some pretty nice weather in Mississippi. It hasn't been too horrible, but it's going to heat up in the next few days. But come back and see me in about a week and have some good stitching time between now and then. Thank you.